This is a really thriving metropolitan area. The region ranks 7th out of large metros based on its per capita income. It has very high educational attainment levels, and it has many economic strengths. But it's not enough, and too many people in Baltimore simply aren't benefiting from regional prosperity.
Within my community, everything is divided. You have one community, and you cross the street into a complete other community that the poverty and the neighborhood and the people is completely different, even though we're 5 minutes away from each other.
About 1 in 5 Baltimore residents is living in a neighborhood of extreme poverty, and these neighborhoods are really heavily concentrated in the eastern and western portions of the city, and these neighborhoods are also predominantly African American.
My community in West Baltimore is very close-knit and quiet.
Where I live at is like, you got some houses that's kind of bordered up.
My neighborhood where I live is boarded up and they have trash on the streets.
In terms of the disparity and the resources to prepare students where I'm coaching at Carver versus some of the kids that have the resources to position themselves for admission, it's a vast difference.
In West Baltimore, we have a field drought. No fields are available for people to play on after they're 13.
We were hosting a game here on April 27th. We saw 4 or 5 helicopters circling, and it was an eerie feeling. We knew what was going on. The coaches and the umpires met, and we talked about maybe canceling the game, but we thought that the best thing to do was to continue to play.
You're hit.
We were able to keep kids out of harm's way for however many more hours. That's important.
Baltimore has persistently high levels of racial and economic segregation.
Everything is still segregated, and the opportunities are different. Kids aren't allowed to go to certain schools, or even if they do, they'll go there, but then they won't feel comfortable. They'll feel outcasted in those different schools.
The education opportunities in my neighborhood is poor.
So, for example, while almost half of white residents have a college degree, less than 14% of black residents do. And while less than 14% of white children are living in poverty, the same can be said of about 42% of black children. There are many Baltimores, just like there are many Bostons and Chicagos, Houstons, and Detroits. Its levels of concentrated poverty are actually about average among its peers, and its levels of income inequality are pretty similar to other big cities around the country. The media tends to focus a lot on the distress in these neighborhoods, but the fact is, many people call these neighborhoods home.
I go to school in Baltimore. My friends are from Baltimore. We do fun things in Baltimore. There are some amazing people from Baltimore. I appreciate my city.
Friends like them, we get together, we talk, have meetings just to see what we need to do to better ourselves and better the people around us.
My friends and I write a feminist zine, trying to give young girls a voice.
In the days following the riots, for example, people in these neighborhoods were coming out, and people from elsewhere in Baltimore were coming out, and they were pitching in and helping.
We actually cleaned up, that's the part you don't see on TV. People cleaning up, people making their communities better.
After the riots, there were community meetings that I attended where we vocalized our opinions and different things that we could do to improve the community and talk about what was going on there.
People are starting to understand that the fates of all of us here in the city are intertwined.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, practice learning.
To further this community, we all need to come together.
There needs to be an understanding from both sides.
Money needs to go towards schools so we can raise these thugs, as our representatives of the country would call us, to become future leaders, and we can then move on and become functional members of society.
Open up all youth centers for the young people so they had to do something at the school, like play baseball, football, basketball.
I learned how to make this in my carpentry trade, and my teacher taught me how to do it because he said I have potential, so he wanted me to do it and pass it on.
I see my niece and my nephew growing up here, and I know I want to change certain things that they see now at a young age, so when they get older, you know, it's a better place for them to grow up in. I want to make the future of the city better.